I'll get to that next week. And the parents I just mentioned, are they bad and harmful to their child? Miyazaki thinks that they are no good. But the way he depicted these parents, I mean, a girl is spoiled by no good parents who cannot properly raise their children. So she can only think about herself. She struggles to become independent. This plot is actually exactly the same as that in Spirited Away. Miyazaki actually thought Kiki's delivery service properly imparted his message. This is the theme of the movie. And it's basically the same as what he did in Spirited Away. So this plot, a spoiled girl raised by no good parents, has put herself under harsh conditions to train herself to grow and solve her problems by herself. It's exactly the same. People actually get this from Spirited Away. And Miyazaki had to spoon-feed the audience. He thought Kiki's delivery service would do the job. He thought adult audiences were mature enough to see how bad parents they are. But he was completely wrong, so he depicted the parents to be assholes, extremely obviously. But before they act like one, Chihiro appears as a girl who cannot behave in the backseat of the car, just says no to everything. Miyazaki thought that would do the job. So Spirited Away is a recreation of this concept. They are made to impart the same message in different ways. However, interestingly, Miyazaki depicts the parents in Kiki's delivery service with much greater affection or love than for the parents in Spirited Away. He depicts them with so much love. He thinks they are bad parents, yet depicts them with so much love, like he's saying he can relate to them. Okay. I'll show Spirited Away's... the storyboard of Kiki's delivery service. I'm sorry it's a little difficult to see. It's written Kiki with her open arm says, "Dad." And she says, "Would you pick me up like you used to?" And then the father immediately understands his daughter's feeling and cheerfully opens his arms. You see, it's written that he immediately understood Kiki's feelings. And this scene where he picks her up and turns her around, it's quite long. Why did Miyazaki draw this scene? Why did he have to make this scene? This is another subtext only explained with the image. The scene includes both Miyazaki's love for the characters and his opinion of the modern family. Why did he pick her up instead of just cuddling her? It's because Kiki will be flying in the sky with her magical power. That is, with her own power. But what she actually wants is her daddy to pick her up. So he sees that she's worried about flying to a town she doesn't know. He sees that this is an act of regression, saying that she wants to fly, picked up by her daddy's power. He understood that and so gave her what she wanted. Kiki's affectionate gesture, it seems so cute to Miyazaki, so he draws this scene from the line, "Dad," so adorably. And Miyazaki also likes Kiki's father, who can't help but to spoil his daughter. This is called enveloped in tenderness. The singer sings when enveloped in tenderness in the closing tune. This love spoils Kiki and deprives her of a chance to grow up. What I've been talking about, it may sound like my fantasy, but actually this scene is linked to another scene. This scene is linked to a scene where Kiki is depressed in the later half. I'll tell you how it's linked. So Kiki made up her mind to settle in a town called Koriko. She forced herself to make a delivery on a rainy day and ends up catching a cold. Osono, a lady who works as a baker and takes care of Kiki, she visits Kiki to make sure she's okay. While visiting Kiki, Osono tells her she'll fix her some hot oatmeal with raisins. She makes the oatmeal, puts it in a bowl, and leaves it on a table, not blowing on a spoon and bringing it to her mouth. Not like an indulgent parent who does that and says, "Here you go." She says, "You have to eat if you want to get well," and just simply leaves the room. And Kiki just calls her as she is leaving the room. She says, "Osono," with the tone exactly the same as when she said "Dad." She just simply calls her name Osono. In response, Osono stops, looks back, and replies, She keeps going, At this point, Kiki is matured enough to say, never mind. This, her line, never mind, represents a huge step toward growing up. Here, what she really wanted to say was something like, can you stay for a little while? Like when she was worried and asked her dad to pick her up and cuddle her. She was in the most desperate time and wanted to ask Osono to stay with her, but she managed to hold that desire back. This marks a huge step in Kiki growing up. She accepted and thanked the person other than her parents for doing her a favor and managed to refrain from asking the person to stay with her and spoil her. In this scene, Osono carefully keeps her distance from Kiki. I mean, when Kiki says Osono, she takes one step back. She takes a step back from the door as a gesture indicating she can stay. But Osono stops at that position. And she replies, What she is doing is pretending to be unaware of Kiki's feelings. Kiki is trying to hold back in asking Osono to stay for a little while. This acting features an amazing sense of timing. So the father understood the feeling of Kiki when she said, Dad, and gave her what she wanted. Osono also understood the feelings of Kiki when she said Osono, but decided to pretend that she didn't, just to let her be. These two scenes, these scenes with the father and Osono, they are created to be complementary to each other. In an anime these days, Osono would say, I know you want me to spoil you, and it's okay. She would say this kind of thing. After hearing that, Kiki will dive into Osono's arms crying. And Osono will go, you don't have to try to be so tough, silly girl. So it would be a tearjerker for the audiences. But crying will be an emotional catharsis, and nothing more. You cry, and that's it. You only remember that Kiki was lonely and desperate. But she says, Osono. And then she says, never mind. This conversation keeps audiences from crying for emotional catharsis. I mean, Miyazaki wanted to depict her growing up and was not interested in tear-jerking. He did not want Kiki to make audiences cry. He wanted her to grow up. So why did she have to leave her parents and live by herself? The way Miyazaki saw it, Kiki's dad should have refused Kiki asking him to spoil her for one last time, saying, you're living by yourself, you're not a kid anymore. He should have laughed away her request, Dad, would you pick me up? By saying, come on, you're not a kid anymore, and acting thick-skinned. But he can't. It's his daughter. He loves his daughter too much. Actually, Miyazaki does want to depict such a daddy who is crazy about his daughter. But Osono understands the feelings of Kiki, who is at the verge of giving in. But she pretends she doesn't, just to let Kiki be. It's because they're not related. She can be more objective. Kiki is not her child, so she doesn't go so far as to spoil her. Her emotional brake is fully working to take appropriate distance. This is the reason why people should live independently from their parents. It's the only way people can grow up to be adults. The fundamental theme of this Kiki's delivery service is about becoming independent from parents. There is nothing fantasy about it at all. This theme, for us living in 2020, Miyazaki's opinion is a little hard on our ears and hearts. This old man born before the war, his opinion sure is hard for us to accept. Yeah, I get that, but sorry, I'm still living with my parents. I bet a lot of you feel this way. I know it really pulls at your heartstrings. But as soon as you ignore or pretend you don't see this, Miyazaki's opinion, Kiki's delivery service, will be enveloped in tenderness, to be nothing more than a sweet animation film. I know it's important for kids to enjoy this stuff while they are kids. But when you grow up and see it, you might want to put in a grown-up's perspective. Then, instead of simply relating to the characters, you'll enjoy the fact that the anime is a fine work with many film techniques for the viewers to think about. You'll enjoy finding them everywhere in the film.